Okay, so let's talk about COVID. So do you guys see a lot of changes going on in the real estate market right now?
Oh, I see it. Open houses, like
Yes.
we were talking about, like it's great. People are going in. People are still kind of nervous, and it's okay if you're nervous.
Absolutely. I definitely see the open houses coming back. We don't see too much of the Matterport being used anymore for people to go and zoom through the home to see what the layout is.
Right.
It's kind of taken a step back, which is really nice because I think it's nice to interact, with the realtor, who has the listing. And, you really get to see and feel for the home, really, if it's what you want. So I think it's really good that, COVID's kind of died down.
Yeah, I agree. To me, no one has said anything about COVID, any of the open houses. Very rarely do I even see too many people come into open houses with masks. So it's one of those things I haven't personally seen or heard too much about anymore.
Yeah, and I have the mask out, and even gloves if someone feels
always
comfortable.
To be safe.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I always ask the homeowner, and we're trained to do this, is there any problems, let's say, they're taking care of their elderly mother or whatever it may be, then that's a different, subject.
Yeah.
But at least we offer and we ask. But yeah, it hasn't hindered.
No,
not at all.
Really nice, though.
And we've seen so much action just in our neighborhood. Are they doing open houses? Because they're sold like this.
I know.
Everything's going so quick. There's not really a chance a lot of times to do an open house.
I have
know.
seen more and more open houses recently, though.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're fighting for space on the corner.
Yes, with their signs for open houses. Yeah. Definitely.
So the sign businesses should be happy. They're getting more business.
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Florida is open. So if you're looking to come to Florida, there's plenty of opportunity. Do you ever wonder what's in your air ducts? Hi everyone, it's Veronica Brandon Miller, and I am excited to be interviewing the president of Total Indoor Environmental Solutions, TIES 360, Kay Lenard. She is brilliant, wonderful, and really cleaning everyone's indoor air.
Yes,
which is great.
Yes, we are.
And for 10 years of my life, I worked for the National Safety Council and the Home Safety Council. So indoor air quality is such a thing, and I've worked on many projects with it. So I really want to tell the homeowner this is an important thing in new construction. And a lot of times, right, people think, oh, new construction, no, I don't need it.
Right.
But I'll let you talk, sorry.
Well, everyone needs to have their air ducts cleaned in their home. With normal day-to-day accumulation of dirt and dust in your home, but there's also a lot of other factors that can definitely increase the need to have your air ducts cleaned in your home. There's a lot of immune-compromised elderly people, children,
People with asthma
and allergies, and unfortunately when it comes to air duct cleaning, it's out of sight, out of mind, so a lot of people don't really pay attention to it, and it's not a problem until it becomes a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're talking about new construction. Just think, when they're drilling, you see all this dust and stuff, it's going somewhere.
Absolutely. Just because it's new construction doesn't necessarily mean that it's all clean. There's a lot that goes into it, and it definitely gets into your air ducts, so it definitely has to be cleaned.
Oh yeah, it's scary because we had ours cleaned.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, my house is 7 years old, and I'm like, it's 7 years old.
Right.
Come in and clean it, and then I was shocked because you guys, from the minute you walk into the house, you can describe exactly what you do.
Yeah, we can. So one of the things that we do is we definitely cover everyone's furniture. We want to make sure that everything is covered and we're taking care of your property. And another thing that we do is we do what's called source removal. So when we do our duct cleanings, we don't necessarily just clean the ducts. We actually put the actual home into a negative, and we clean everything in your ducts, and it goes into a HEPA filter. So therefore, there's no cross-contamination in the home. And we kind of just go step by step and show you the process of what we do and how we do it. And like you said, a lot of people are very surprised when you get your ducts cleaned, when we show you our before and after pictures, which is another thing that we do, is we give you before and after pictures. And another shocking, thing is for the homeowners to say, oh my God, I did not know it was dirty. I knew it was affecting me somehow in some way, but I did not know to the extent of how dirty it was.
And you showed these pictures that it's amazing that people are even breathing in their house.
Yeah.
You know, you try and do all the right stuff. You eat right. You exercise, et cetera, et cetera. But when you go home, you're breathing in crud.
Exactly. We clean our homes. So why wouldn't we clean our air ducts? We clean our cars. Why wouldn't we clean our ducts in our home and the air that we breathe?
Right.
Yeah. And it affects us in so many different ways. And a lot of people, like I said, it doesn't become a problem until they realize that they're having issues in their home. And then that's when they find out that they need to have their ducts cleaned in their homes.
Yeah, and if you cook a lot, you know, grill a lot, you know, it's going somewhere.
Yep. If you have a lot of pets, animals.
The dander.
Yep, carpet, some type of renovation in your home. If you've had any issues with your air conditioning system and water, that can also sometimes contribute to microbial growth in your ducts
And
as
you
well.
found that with mine. And again, 7 years old. I'm thinking, what could they possibly find? And I was proud of myself because I'm like, I don't cook. But there's still stuff. It's amazing the stuff you find. So it is needed.
Yes.
And for the homeowners who are thinking about purchasing a home, do it before you get in there. Why not?
Right.
Yeah.
It's definitely easier for it to be done before you move into the home. You know, we've got no furniture to have to deal with. But it would definitely be easier for us to do it before you move into your home. And just like you go down your checklist and you check off everything you have to do before you move into your house, make sure you get your ducts clean before you move in.
Yeah, put it for your spring cleaning.
Yeah.
You know, it's spring right now. We're talking about we need to do X, Y, Z. Why not include the air ducts?
Yep. Especially if you have children. Like I said, immune compromise, you know, have you suffer. There's a lot of people that are sensitive too. And a lot of people too, they don't realize that there are certain certifications that you have to have in order to have your air ducts cleaned. And it is a thing that in the state of Florida, in order for you to take compensation, taking down a grill, you have to have your HVAC license. And we do have our HVAC license. We also have our NACA certification, which stands for National Air Duct Cleaning Association. And they hold us to a much higher standard when we do our duct cleaning, the whole cross-contamination. We want to make sure we're not doing that. So it's a very different process in doing that. All of our guys have the certifications. We have the right equipment to do so. So we do it the right way.
And you do unique things, like you have the air scrubber.
Yes, the air scrubber is great. Yeah, the air scrubber is amazing. In addition to cleaning your ducts, you also want to continue to clean the air on surfaces. And airborne as well. So we have the air scrubber, which we can install in the air handler, or we can have a portable one which you can take with you on hotels or vacations and so forth. But the air scrubber is amazing too. Yeah.
Right, because a lot of people started hearing about it because of COVID.
Yes.
And it's certified by
NASA.
NASA.
Yes.
That's what I was reading.
NASA. It was invented by NASA, and we've been doing this way before COVID. We've been in the indoor air quality arena for over 10 years. So the difference with us is that this is what we do. We don't have any other departments. We don't do electricity. We don't do plumbing. This is what we do, and this is what we specialize in.
And you do very well.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Miller. The real estate process can be very stressful, and during that time, you're going to work with several professionals, including, most likely, a real estate attorney. And I'm here to introduce Cynthia Riddell from the Riddell Law Group.
Thank you for having me.
So, Cynthia, tell us a little bit about what a real estate attorney does.
So, I am a real estate attorney with Riddell Law Group. It's my father and myself are the two attorneys here. And primarily what we work on are title insurance transactions. So residential real estate transactions where we're acting to issue title insurance and perform escrow and settlement services. So we're one of those professionals that works with the realtors and works with mortgage brokers if there's or loan officers if there's a mortgage involved in the transaction. And we pretty much, kind of coordinate all the tasks in order to clear title and schedule settlement and fund the settlement.
So talk to us a little bit about title insurance and what you do and what you need as a home buyer.
Okay, so we're in Florida, and Florida you can close with real estate attorneys that are typically title agents themselves or title companies. Certainly in my opinion, which of course I'm biased because I'm a real estate attorney, I always suggest that buyers work with a real estate attorney that's also going to be doing the title insurance work. Because what we do is similar to what a title company would do, which is pull a title search, examine the title to the property, look for mortgages that need to be paid off, confirm the seller is actually vested with title, and do all the things to clear title to issue that final clear policy to the buyer. What we can do in addition, of course, though, as attorneys is give legal advice, interpret contracts, work on issues that may come up in title. So, for instance, you might have an issue with your title search that comes back and says the seller is actually an estate of so-and-so and not the person who signed your contract, and there may be a need for a probate administration. Oftentimes, attorneys that are working in real estate usually may have a referral source for that probate that's necessary or may do it themselves. I do that personally myself. I do probate administration as well. So a lot of the times working with an attorney who's doing your closing and issuing title insurance is preferable because they have the ability to take care of issues that may come up directly without you having to go leave the title company and hire a separate attorney. The other nice thing is most real estate attorneys that act as title agents are very comparable in their price. Typically people think attorney, they think, oh, well, that's going to cost a lot more money. Most attorneys that are locally in this business doing real estate closings are very competitive with their pricing, charging a certain settlement fee. Obviously, all title insurance rates are promulgated rates. They're promulgated by the legislature. So whether you go to ABC Title Company, Riddell Law Group, or some other real estate attorney, your title insurance premium is going to be your title insurance premium. So that's always a good thing, too, to ask for up front, is you can actually get a title quote. People call our office all the time. Realtors or prospective buyers may call our office and say, hey, I'm thinking I might buy this property. I think the price is going to be X. We are or are not getting a mortgage. We are able to give them an estimate of the actual cost for the title insurance and closing transaction. And I find that's always helpful.
So, Cynthia, who pays for the attorney? Is it the buyer, the seller, both? Split costs?
Customarily in Sarasota and some of Manatee County, buyers pick and pay for title. And what that means is in our real estate contract that's promulgated through the Florida Realtors and the Florida Bar that most everyone uses in these two counties, it actually has a section where it's either going to say the buyer picks and pays for the title insurance and picks the closing agent, or the seller picks and pays. And so depending on that, how that's negotiated in the contract is dependent on how the actual transaction is directed. If a buyer or seller comes to me initially and says, I'm thinking about doing this, I want you to work with me. What do I need to do? We're often involved in the negotiation with the realtor at the initial stages when the contract's created, so we can make sure that we are going to be doing the closing for our particular client. But customarily in Sarasota in particular, most of the time buyers are choosing who is issuing title insurance, so certainly they would want to choose their attorney to issue title insurance.
Well, so thank you, Cynthia, for being here. That was very educational, and for me personally as well. And we look forward to having you on the show again.
All right. Thank you for having me.
What I wish I would have known before buying my first flip. One of the most difficult things is actually finding the house. Finding that perfect house, knowing exactly what the value is going to be after you put your money, your hard work into it, is one of the scariest, hardest things to start out with. So the first house that we purchased needed way more work than we expected. We thought we could swing the hammer a couple times ourselves and we were going to be just fine, get a couple contractors to come in when needed, and they were going to be ready when we were ready. That was furthest thing from the truth. So one of the things that after you find your house, you want to understand the scope of the project. Know exactly what you're going to be getting yourself into. Know what your value is going to be after the project is done. Sometimes having that cheap property is sometimes cheap for a reason. So maybe for your first one, go out, look for one that actually is a good value. It's a good price, and it doesn't need as many or it's just cosmetic and it's not structurally damaged and things like that. I wish I would have done that whenever I first got started. Always have more than one contractor that you know and trust. One of the things about getting your contractors is know exactly what they're capable of. Make sure that they're able to pull the permits. They need to get along with you. Make sure that you guys have a good connection. One of the ways that I've actually found my contractors is I will drive around neighborhoods and I'll look for those big dumpsters, those canisters, and I'll see the workers outside. So I will go ahead and start asking them like, hey, do you mind if I check out your work? Kind of see what their team, how the team works together, see the actual quality of work. And once they get the boss man out there, a lot of times you can ask them, hey, on that property, do you mind telling me how much that project cost? That'll kind of give you an idea if you're even in the right ballpark, because not only do you not want to waste your time, you don't want to waste their time. They're busy and you're also busy. So one of the things about having more than one contractor is, let's say you're ready to go and you have your 2 or 3 contractors set up and you close on the property. You want to get started immediately. You don't want to sit there and then start seeing what the scope is and then start finding your contractors. You are going to be months and months behind when the project should only take a month or 2. Make sure you have 3, like I said, 2 or 3 ready to go. So once you have your contractors ready to go, and the reason for having multiple as well is some contractors are just busy. I know we've had contractors come out say that they weren't able to help us for 6, 7, 8 months, especially if they're going to be doing a full project, much like the one that you're going to be doing. So always have your contractor complete the job, start to finish. Don't sit there and try to go in and interrupt their progress by saying, oh, well, I was going to do this part. Can you guys do that part? They want to go in. They want to get the job done. If you're wanting to piece it together, it's going to cost you time and it's going to cost you money. That way they know exactly what they're doing. They're not dealing with any change orders, time and money again, and they can get everything done right out of the gate. Also, once doing that, once they do get completed, make sure you get it inspected. Have a trustworthy inspector that you know, go through, check everything immediately after they're done. So once you have your contractors ready to go and they're starting the project, allow that contractor to finish the job, start to finish. Don't try to save a few bucks by going in with your hammer and doing pieces of it. It's just going to slow down your contractor. One of the things that you might deal with by doing that is change orders. Anything that deals with change to a contractor is money out of your pocket. So always make sure that you allow them to go in, start to finish. Have a very set plan, exactly what you need them to do. The paint colors, the trim, the flooring. You have everything already done before you even purchase the house. That way, there's no questions that need to be asked. You can get the exact amount that it's going to cost you to get the project done, and that's going to save you time and money in your pocket. So when you are trying to get your budget and everything figured out, don't try to be exact on your budget. Always go over, because you're always going to find surprises. I don't think we have done a property that didn't have a few surprises in each single one. So always go over on your paints, on your floors. Just go ahead and inflate that budget to make sure that you know if there's an incidental problem, that you kind of have that buffer in place for certain incidents like that. I know this all might sound a little bit intimidating, but looking back, I wish I would have known these, but I still got started, and I pushed through all the naysayers, everyone that said, why would you buy that house, or what are you doing? And at times I honestly didn't know what I was doing, and I thought that, everybody just felt like this, but I had a vision at the end. So always stick to your guns. Know that you're going to be able to get through it. Just have that vision, be planned, ready, and stick to it. So I hope these tips helped. And if there's anything that you guys would like to know more about, please feel free to email us. We'll always try to get the content out that you guys would like to see. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. We have our wonderful guest, Wesley Nordine, who works with the First Savings Bank. He is a lender, and he is here to help us today to talk about the home lending process and, help customers understand, how everything works with the home buying experience. So, Wesley, thank you so much for coming in today and joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So let me ask you, when you first speak with a customer, how do you begin their process, and what steps do you take for them to help you help them?
Sure. So the first step is just talking with the customer, figuring out their goals. Are they wanting to refinance an existing mortgage, purchase a new property? Is it a primary home, a second home, or maybe even an investment property? So once we figure that out, then we just start the pre-approval process, and that is going to be the most important part.
Absolutely.
Reviewing income, credit, assets, those types of things need to be reviewed to know what the buyer can buy.
Yeah.
So once we have those items and the buyer gets pre-approved, the next step would be for them getting under contract when they purchase a home. And then after that part, once they get under contract, we actually start the loan process. We process the loan, we underwrite the loan, and then at that point, the loan would get approved.
Perfect. So once, they do get that accepted contract, what is the next step to helping them really move forward in that process?
Sure. So once they do get under contract, that's when we really come into play, and that's when, me and my team really get to work. So we would order the appraisal, we order the title that needs to be done, and then again process underwriting. They do their jobs. We do need an underwritten approval to close on a loan, but one of the things that that we wait on typically in this market is the appraisal. This is a very difficult market, very busy market, so appraisers can be a little bit backed up. A week, maybe 2 weeks, and sometimes we're just kind of hanging out waiting for that appraisal to come in. But once we have that and we get the whole financial picture of the buyer, we're ready for closing.
Wow. it's a great process. It's very, very, very good that you're, explaining this, because a lot of buyers don't really know what to expect. So for like the expectations, during this process, what is like the expected time frame to completing this entire loan process?
All right, so the expected time frame, especially for a purchase transaction,
Yes.
We typically schedule the closing 30 days out, and that allows us enough time processing, underwriting, like I mentioned before, but even the bigger question mark is the appraisal. Like
Yes.
I said, sometimes we're just kind of waiting on the appraisal. And that could be for a week or 2 weeks, but again, it just gives us plenty of time to get everything together. There's a lot of moving pieces when it comes to a home loan. So, but me and my team, we work at a high level to meet those closing dates, and that's the most important thing with a buyer and the seller. Everybody wants to close as quickly as possible, and we do our best to make that happen.
Absolutely, we definitely want to stay on that deadline for sure. Now, is there anything specific that you do with the buyer that can help them? Because this market is really challenging. It's so different than before. So what do you guys do that's different than others?
Sure. Yeah, you're right. Very challenging market. It's very tough for buyers.
Yes, it is.
Low inventory is an issue. So what we do is we want to put the buyers in the best position possible to win an offer when they make an offer on a home. And so to do that, what we have is a program that allows the buyer to get their loan processed and underwritten before they get under contract on a loan. Because of this will allow the buyer to have an actual loan commitment and let the sellers know, hey, their financing has already been approved. So, you don't have those issues where, financing could fall apart through the process. All the work's done up front, and which would result in quicker close, and makes all parties feel a little bit more comfortable knowing that, hey, financing is good to go.
Yes, and that is so important to be able to have that commitment moving forward. Definitely. Well, Wesley, I want to thank you again so much for joining us today. If you have any questions, concerns, and you're interested in buying, please reach out to Wesley. He is a great asset to our team. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.